Now, WBOC News at 6, Delmarva's news leader.
From Chopper 16, many consider it Delmarva's biggest summertime tradition. It's elegant, majestic, even magical, the annual Chincoteague Pony Swim. Good evening, I'm Chris Weimer.
And I'm Steve Hammond. Welcome to WBOC News at 6.
It was a race to the finish line, the 90-second race to be exact. Another Chincoteague Pony Swim in the books.
And this one got off under beautiful skies to an early start. WBOC's Nicole Lauren shows us the ponies from some incredible angles, a sight she says was worth the early morning wake-up call.
With the shot of a flare, the Chincoteague ponies were off. From Chopper 16, you could see the 150 adult ponies in 66 foals make their way across the Assateague Channel, a swim organizers call Delmarva's crown jewel.
When you're born and raised here and you've been doing this your whole life, and you see those people out there, they choose to come here to spend their vacation, spend their time, spend their money with you, and you make some little girl's dream come true by seeing that pony and all these ponies come ashore and everything. There's just nothing like it. My heart swells.
The ponies make their trip during what's called slack tide, a period of about 30 minutes when there is no current. Our cameras were alongside them as they swam. Even though the slack tide was pretty early today, saltwater cowboys say it was worth the extra cup of coffee.
We had to wait until it got daylight, but we got up at 3 o'clock this morning to get our horses ready and everything. And the tide was early. That's why we had to go early. Other than that, we just saddle them up and go.
After their nearly 300-yard trek, the first foal to come ashore was crowned king. But you can see here it was pretty tough for the saltwater cowboys to catch this little guy. But eventually, he gave in. And while it has become quite the tradition, it serves a much larger purpose. That is to maintain the size of the herd here on Assateague Island and to raise money for the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Department. A sight and tradition that's hard to forget.
It's hard for me to describe. I wouldn't be anywhere else in the whole wide world.
In Accomack County, I'm Nicole Lauren, WBOC News.
Not only does the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Company use the proceeds for the needs of the department, but also provides vet care for the ponies that are taken back to Assateague.
As the ponies began their journey across the channel today, one pony almost didn't make it over. A 2-year-old mare got caught in an anchor rope, almost drowned. Fortunately, help was on site and thankfully came to her rescue.
She has superficial rope type burns, but not full thickness. And she's sound. She walked all the way to the carnival grounds without a limp, so she's in fine shape. A little suspense, but it turned out fine.
Glad to hear she's okay. The saltwater cowboys escorted the pony to safety after that rescue. Well, with this year's pony swim came a little bit of local news history here on Delmarva. During our morning coverage, you saw our very first live shot with Skycam 16.
Right, live video and audio from reporter Bill Mitch, all done with our drone. Bill recorded those great images and shows us the magical journey from high above.
From Skycam 16, it may have been an early start for the annual pony swim on Chincoteague Island, but getting up before the crack of dawn and grabbing your spot provided for a picturesque start to the day and a great backdrop for the pony swim. It was right around 7 a.m. when the flare was lit and slack tide was declared. The ponies made their way to the water. Now, the swim itself is really only a few minutes long. This year's was 4 minutes and 41 seconds to be exact, but we were able to capture the whole thing from this vantage point, and we wanted to speed it up so we could squeeze it all in. Now, after the ponies got a rest, they were moved from the marshy area and the parade began. But just look at this view of those ponies being led away from the water by those saltwater cowboys. They make their way out of the marsh and then down Pony Swim Lane and parade through Chincoteague on their way to the carnival grounds. A memorable morning captured from a very unique vantage point. On Chincoteague with Skycam 16, I'm Bill Mitch for WBOC News.
And if you missed this morning's live coverage of the pony swim, or you just simply can't get enough, head on over to WBOC.com. You can find all of today's coverage under our Web Extra page.
Moving on in other news now, people in Queen Anne's County are realizing the severity of the tornado damage in their area. Neighbors say the cleanup could take weeks, if not months. WBOC Midshore Bureau Chief Amy Liu says despite the mess, people are staying upbeat.
3 days after a tornado hit parts of Kent Island, cleanup efforts are underway. Walk anywhere in this neighborhood and you'll find piles of logs, broken tree limbs on the ground. People say they put in hard work and a lot of long hours to clean this area up, and they're still not close to being done. There were plenty of chainsaws and shredders outside homes in Bay City. Workers say they've been hauling trees and shredding limbs as much as 12 hours a day ever since the tornado hit.
Our phones were ringing nonstop for the last 3 days. But it's basically first come, first serve.
Today, the workers are removing the mess surrounding this house. The homeowner says they got away with barely a scratch.
Nothing major. We were lucky. All around us, though, 6 of our immediate neighbors had trees inside their houses.
Gus Pakaitis was one of those unlucky neighbors. The front of his home and his cars were crushed by trees. No more trees now, only this blue tarp.
There were trees everywhere. You could barely see the cars. Obviously, you've seen my Honda, which is no Honda no more.
Pakaitis says this beautiful neighborhood, once abundant with trees, is now just a sore, ugly mess.
Yeah, it's a shame to really lose them. So just have to get it cleaned up and start all over.
And the county says they've opened up a couple of waste transfer sites in order for homeowners and workers to dump their stuff for free. Those waste transfer sites will remain open throughout this week. Reporting from Queen Anne's County, Amy Liu, WBOC News, Bay City.
The state of Delaware is investigating after 6 heroin overdose deaths across the state. They may all be connected. They say the overdoses happened over a 3-week period. 2 distinctive stamps were found on the packages of heroin used by the victims. 5 of the deaths occurred in Newcastle County. 1 of them occurred in Sussex County. Delaware, by the way, has reported 125 overdose deaths so far this year. And also, family members of opioid users are encouraged to get trained in the use of naloxone, the overdose reversing medication that is now available at pharmacies in Delaware.
Police in Princess Anne are asking for the public's help in their investigation of a Tuesday night shooting. Police were called to Antioch Avenue early last night after a report of shots fired. 2 victims were taken to PRMC for non-life-threatening injuries. Anyone with information should contact Princess Anne Police at the number listed below.
And in Ocean City, 6 people facing assault and weapons charges after police say a verbal dispute in the resort town escalated to a robbery and a physical attack. It all happened on Monday. A group of people told police they were assaulted. One of them said they were pistol whipped with a handgun. Another told police their cell phone was stolen. A short time later, a traffic stop was made on Route 50 in West Ocean City. Police say they found the stolen phone and the handgun in the car. They then arrested all 6 people inside the vehicle. They range in age from 16 to 22, all from the Washington, D.C. area and suburbs. They are being held right now without bond in the Worcester County Jail.
In Sussex County, the city of Rehoboth Beach now has some hard numbers on their controversial ocean outfall. The outfall will pump the city's treated wastewater a mile offshore. At a commissioner's workshop today, engineers said the outfall itself will cost $27.6 million, about $4 million more than expected. However, all of the city's wastewater projects came in at $43.2 million. That's $9 million under budget and includes a 5% contingency fund on each project. Mayor Cooper says the next step is voting to award the project bids 19 years after the project was first proposed.
We've had this hanging over us for that long. The consent order signed in 2002 gives us a deadline of June 1st of 2018, and there's no reason why we should miss that at this point.
There are some individual appeals against the outfall. Some environmentalists say even treated wastewater would hurt animals and that the outfall's construction could harm certain endangered species. Mayor Sam Cooper has said in the past that all work will be in compliance with any environmental laws. Honoring veterans at the Delaware State Fair today is Armed Forces Day there.
WBOC's Kent County Bureau Chief Tom Lehman joins us live from the State Fair. And Tom, members of the Delaware National Guard are being honored in a parade tonight.
Steve, that parade is going to get started in just under an hour, and it's going to be on this street here at the fair. A lot of people here at the fair are here as part of the Armed Forces Day event. Lines were long this morning at the fairgrounds entrance, partially because of today's promotion. Anyone with a valid military ID could get in for free. Now, for some service members, the gesture was a meaningful one.
Yeah. You know, my wife noticed that they had an Armed Service Day here at the fair, so I took leave today to come here, and it was a cool opportunity to come here and you know, come to the fair for free parking, free admission, so we're enjoying it.
Guardsmen will also participate in a small recognition for armed forces before tonight's concerts. Reporting live at the Delaware State Fair in Kent County, I'm Tom Lehman for WBOC News here in Harrington.
All right, Tom, thanks very much. Still ahead here on the news at 6. Protecting marine life remains a focal point of campaigns across the nation, including here on Delmarva.
Up next, how a group in Sussex County is working to protect the offshore dolphin population. WBOC News at 6 returns after this.